In today's video, I'm going to show you a great stack of back issues that I picked up during a dollar sale at a local shop. Check it out. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name's Chris, and this is Northgarden Comics. I've got another great stack of back issues to share with you today. It feels a little redundant, almost like a broken record where I have so many videos where I say I went to a dollar sale at a local shop, but I am very thankful that I am so lucky to have so many dollar sales at local shops in my area. I feel like the Twin Cities Metro is just a really great spot for comic book collecting and reading. So really grateful for that, and grateful that I can share these books with you. So I hope you enjoy the things that you get to see on my channel as well. These particular books today come from a local store called Most Wanted Comics. Owners Kent and Kevin have been buying and selling comic books for many years, and many people in the area know them probably more so from their presence at a variety of shows. They do things locally, they even have hosted some shows locally, and then they travel around and do some of the bigger shows as well. What's the one in Kansas City? Is that Planet Comic-Con, something like that? I know some of you folks in the St. Louis, the Missouri area and things might be familiar with that one, but they do go to that show as well, but in addition to a number of others. But all that to say that beyond now just the shows, a little while ago they opened a brick and mortar store, and so they've got an ongoing presence here in the Twin Cities where you can just go buy great back issues, and they have a great selection of back issues as well as toys and other collectibles, and they've recently started adding in new comics as well. On this particular occasion, they pulled out just a bunch of books they needed to move and said, we're going to do a dollar sale. And so I was able to go to their sale while I was there, talk to one of the owners, Kevin. I think I saw Kent too while I was there. And I think I ran into Levi from Young's Comics. He's another comic reader, collector, and YouTuber here in the Twin Cities. I'll link to his channel down below in case you want to check him out. But he, in addition to showing you the books that he gets, he'll do a lot of footage on site at the sales and shows and things. So if you'd like to watch that as well, you should definitely check him out. But for now, let's go ahead and I'll show you the books that I got from the Most Wanted Comics dollar sale. All right, there's a fun variety of books here that are going to be all over the place, including run fillers, limited series, one-shots, recent comics that I've been able to fill in gaps on, current runs, and I even found a few keys, and one that I'm not sure really how to categorize it, but it's more of an oddball first kind of comic for me. Well, you'll understand more when we get to that. But diving in here, I picked up this copy of The Punisher, #6. This is from his first ongoing. I don't really collect Punisher today, but there are issues, limited series, and things based on the creative team that I will pick up. And this one I grabbed just because it was the Mike Mignola cover. Just thought that was very cool looking. Grabbed this copy of Amazing Fantasy #2. I guess this is volume 2 at least of this title. I'm not collecting this, but it is a minor key. This is the second appearance, of the character Arana. What's the woman's name? Is it Anya Corazon? Something like that. But yeah, her character, her second appearance, and it's just a very cool Mark Brooks cover, so I grabbed that. Another book, surprising to find it in the dollar bins, but very happy. This is Batman #613, part of the Hush storyline, and you can see pencils there on the cover and interiors by Jim Lee. This is one where you don't really find these in the dollar bin too often, but I have surprisingly put together, I would say, at least half of the story so far just by patiently waiting and grabbing those issues when I find them in dollar bins. And this is in nice shape. You can see most of these books are not bagged or boarded, and yet the condition is still pretty good. But happy to have made that additional find for that storyline. I'm a big fan of Carol Danvers and Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel. So saw this Miss Marvel one-shot. Just the story is called Binary, and you can see, if you're familiar with this volume of her title, that's reminiscent of that volume. So I know that's roughly the timing, but other than that, I'm not sure where this one-shot fits in to the overall storyline, but definitely was going to grab that. And you'll see intermixed through here as well a variety of recent issues from current ongoings. And I don't know if this must have just been overstock that they had, but happy to fill in some of those titles, issues for those titles when they're just $1. Here's X-Men Red, number 12. Great cover on that as well. I like these fun kind of promo type issues. I've mentioned before, this is the Astonishing X-Men sketchbook, and it was free. And it just shows some, different sketches and things from the Astonishing X-Men. And then on the flip side, there's actually the Amazing Spider-Man sketchbook. So that's a fun little pickup. Some more recent issues. Here's Immortal X-Men. So another one of the big, I would say the 3 big titles for X-Men right now are X-Men, and then Immortal X-Men and X-Men Red. I'm only keeping up actively with X-Men, and then I'm trying to piece these together as I can find the issues as cheap, back issues. That's a great Mark Brooks cover, though, to boot. A lot of Mark Brooks covers in this haul. Here's another one. Here's Immortal X-Men number 13 as well. Shifting over to some childhood nostalgia in the form of a recent comic, though. This is Gargoyles Dark Ages number 1. They just rebooted it not that long ago, and we already have a spin-off comic. I'm not collecting this, but I like the Demona cover and like the Gargoyles. And I love that cartoon back in the 90s when that was on, so grabbed that. Here we got the kind of the Omega type issue, I think, of this Sins of Sinister event that went through. They retitled 3 X-Men books and did the Sins of Sinister event, and I think this Dominion book was like the Omega issue for that. And then I got Uncanny Avengers number 1, another recent issue. I read this first volume and third volume, but this is only a 5-issue limited series this time around, so I'm just waiting. Instead of getting them new, I'm just going to pick them up as back issues. Got this copy of Captain America 750, so it's just a kind of it's a one-shot. It's not, I don't think it's actually tied to the ongoing. This issue comes on the heels of when we had 2 Captain America titles going, one for Sam and one for Steve. So this is kind of like the final wrap-up issue from that, and now we've just gotten the new kickoff to the current Captain America, which is just Steve Rogers, but not penciled, written by Mike Straczynski. So I am going to be keeping up with that because I've liked what he's done on other characters. So, but there's that Captain America 750, and I love being able to pick up some of these issues. They're expensive if you buy them new, $7.50 or $7.99 on this Captain America. I think that Sins of Sinister Dominion was a higher price tag as well. So it just gets to be really expensive really fast. So if you can be patient and wait to see if some of these issues show up in the dollar bins, it can really benefit your wallet. Here is Astonishing Iceman, another limited series for the X-Men. I really like Iceman as a character. Not collecting this new, but I liked that Scotty Young cover. Another Captain America recent issue from a kind of a crossover event that was going on between the 2 Captain America titles, Captain America Cold War. Haven't read this yet, but still piecing together some of those issues. Another limited series, but X-Men related, Children of the Vault. Getting ready for this whole fall of X. I think everything around Krakoa and this whole kind of last few years of the Krakoa era of mutantdom is about to come crashing down. And part of me wants to get all the issues, but I think they're not all going to be critical, so I'm trying to be patient and just let all the chaos happen and then decide what I want to piece together. So this was just one of those, all right, it's just $1, I'll grab it, kind of a pickup. Another one similar, the Sinister 4. It's just a one-shot. Every time I look at that, though, I'm like, hey, look, it's Gandalf on the cover. Another X-Men book, Days of Future Past Doomsday, #1. I think this is a 2-part limited series. And then a copy of the most recent one-shot, the Hellfire Gala, $8.99 cover price. I read this actually on Marvel Unlimited and would have been completely content not to buy it at all, just because I had read the story then. But since it was just $1, I can't resist adding that to my X-Men collection. All right, these next few books are probably my favorite find of the day, just because of how infrequently I see issues from this title to be able to build out my run. It was a short run, went for 12 issues. Creator owned book, Chris Bachalo. He wrote it and did the pencils. I love his art style. It's very unique. Doesn't work for everybody. Doesn't work for every character. But one of his early works was a title called Steampunk. And ever since I found out about it, I've been trying to piece it together. But I never see these issues, or rarely see these issues. So whenever I do see them, I get very excited. And especially if they're just $1, I grab them. And at this particular sale, I was able to get every issue I needed except for just one. So I'm just one issue away from completing this volume. At this sale, though, I got issue 4. I don't know which cover that is, but it's one of the covers. Because then I also got this, I think this is a J. Scott Campbell cover, also to #4. And then issue 6. I grabbed 2 copies of issue 7, and I'll tell you why. One of them had a price tag sticker on it when I grabbed it, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get it off. But look at that. I was able to get it off, and now I have 2 pretty nice copies of that. And surprisingly, the tool I used to get that off, I actually used Goo Gone, which was, I'll admit, highly risky in my opinion because it has an odor to it, and I wasn't sure what it would do, but very, very kind of cautiously used, I was able to get the sticker off, and there is no residue on here at all. Now, visually, I can tell which one had the sticker on it and which one didn't, but you can't feel it, you can't smell it, so very happy that that worked out. But I will say, if you're gonna try using Goo Gone, use it on a book that's not valuable to start with, especially because you don't want to screw that up and then really be kicking yourself. But it worked for me in this particular case. And then here's issue 8 as well. So very, very happy for that progress that I made on Steampunk. And like I said, just one more issue to go to have the entire set. But we're not done. There's still some cool books in here, and one, decently significant key in a sense. But next up here, we've got another one of these that I found, a Marvel Milestone edition. This is a facsimile of X-Men #1. I've got like 2 or 3 of these now. They're pretty cool to find, and just happy to have that reprint of X-Men #1 because I don't expect to ever have an actual original copy of X-Men #1. So I'm very happy with the facsimile. Got this. It's kind of a duplicate. I have the story already, but I'm a fan of magic covers, so I got this copy of Ten of Swords Destruction, part of the Ten of Swords event that was going on. You may have seen me mention a couple of these in previous videos, but it may have just been earlier this year or last year at the latest that I came across this line of like 20-some books that were called battle books, and they have a variety of characters in them, and I now have 3 with this one featuring Witchblade, and it kind of works like it's a 2-person kind of a battle game where each person has a comic book that represents their character, and then I think the idea is that you trade books, if I remember correctly, and then you have a card that determines what your move is. You got this like moves kind of a card here, but I would make a move and then you would have my book, and then you'd be able to see based on the number what the reaction of that attack was, and then you would take a corresponding action. That part doesn't appeal to me so much, but collecting the comic books definitely does. So happy to have found now my third battle book to add to my collection. These next two, we're almost done here, I got strictly for the covers. These are Ultimate Avengers 2 and Ultimate Avengers 3. So I don't know if that's two different, looks like two different limited series. Both issues 1 for each of those, and they're just cool, reflective covers. But I will show you something very cool about this one that I didn't know till I got it home. And this is that kind of unique find that I was trying to explain at the beginning without giving too much information. So there's your cover. But then my very first ever double cover. So I know that happens periodically, just an error on the printing line, but super cool to discover that. Very first one, so definitely gonna be holding on to that because it's a cool Punisher cover, it's a cool reflective cover, and it's a double cover. So super fun little bonus find there. And then just three more books to show you. I showed you several of these in a recent video where I came across a whole line of variants for the Civil War event, and the covers were done by Michael Turner. And I'm not quite there, but he had most at the sale I got the first batch from, I think that was Go Big or Go Home Comics. He had like 5 of the 7 issues, if I'm remembering correctly, and they were all Michael Turner covers. At this sale, I was able to get one more. This issue number 4 is a new one to me. I didn't have that variant. I already had this Punisher, but it was so cool I just bought it again. But don't know if I'll hold on to that one, but very cool to get 2 more Michael Turner covers. I think I just need one more, and then I'll have the entire set of Michael Turner variants from Civil War. But those were great pickups as well. And then the last book is the biggest key of the entire bunch. It's not a major key, so, you know, no one's gonna go crazy over this, but it's still a pretty cool find. This is X Factor number 24, first cover appearance, and I think second appearance of Warren Worthington as Archangel. Wasn't called Archangel yet, but one of the henchmen, the Horsemen of Apocalypse at this point. And this book is significant to me, not so much because it's a key, but when I was collecting X Factor back in the 80s and 90s, it was one of my first X-Men titles that I got into early on. And so I had a lot of the issues. I never had this one. And then fast forward, as an adult, I was trying to piece together this entire volume. And it got to the point where this was the last issue I needed to complete my run. And thankfully, I did complete the run probably about 7 years ago now, where I got this issue, and I paid like $15 to get this issue. And it's in good shape and everything, but I spent up more than I normally do for books to get this and to have it and to complete that volume. But just to once again show you that patience so many times can pay off. You know, you always want to be happy with the price you pay for the book and the condition when you do. And if you're happy with the condition and the price, you're good. Pull the trigger, go, be happy, enjoy the book. But if you want to wait too, so many times patience will eventually pay off. And look at that. Now, I didn't want to wait another 7 years. I wanted to complete that run. So I was happy with the condition. I was happy with the price I paid. And so I'm happy. But just wanted to get this and show you that, look at that. Patience can pay off, and here it is, this somewhat of a decent sized key, probably the biggest key for this volume outside of the first appearance of Apocalypse from this volume, and there it is for just $1. And of course it's not in minty shape, but still just $1, and you can fill that hole in your run for very, very inexpensively. So that was a great find as well. All right. That's going to do it for me, and that's going to wrap up this exceptional haul from the Most Wanted Comics dollar sale. I do hope you saw something that you liked, but What about you? What kinds of things are you finding on your own adventures? Are there any cool oddball things like double covers that you found, or maybe you've had in your collection for years? Or are there any volumes or runs or series that you've recently completed? Let us know down below. Now, if you're not quite ready for the YouTube fun to stop, I have hand-selected a couple videos here for you to check out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.